Hey, it's Meltdown here with Jeff and Matt, the Hardy Boyz, of course, in town this weekend with TNA. Welcome to the station, guys.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. We're very excited to be in Detroit. Saturday is Bound for Glory. It's the biggest show of the year for TNA, and we're really excited. We're hyped to be there.
And let's really talk about the elephant in the room. It's Detroit, so we're going to honor Rhino.
Rhino is getting honored. He's going into the Hall of Fame, and he's someone very deserving of it. You know, he's had a lot of amazing contributions to TNA over the years. But I want to talk about something else. We're going to honor the Hardys and the legacy of the TLC matches we did, because we are doing a full Metal Mayhem on Saturday night at Bound for Glory for the TNA World Tag Team titles. And it's very important to myself and my brother that we win those titles and we cement our legacy as one of the GOATs in tag teams.
All right, we're going to get back to that in just a second. But Rhino texted me, and he said he's honored to be, honored, of course. He says he hopes that you guys are still BFFs and for Matt not to delete them. So I guess,
Yeah, we're on good terms.
Okay.
We're on very, very good terms. I love some Rhino. Everybody loves Rhino.
Yeah. All right, well, getting back to what you were talking about here. Is this going to be the last TLC match?
In my opinion, personally, it could be my last match ever. That's how excited I am about this match, and to be world champions again is so important for me within my system and my soul, man. So yeah, it could very well be my last Full Metal Mayhem for sure. So that's why it's very exciting and scary.
And you're not alone in saying that, brother, because we've been doing this. We just entered on October the 15th. We entered our 33rd year of doing this as active performers, which is quite the longevity for a professional wrestler, someone who beat their body up week in and week out. And these TLC matches, these Full Metal Mayhem matches, they take a huge toll on your body. So yeah, we know that any match that we step into that is a Full Metal Mayhem that has tables, ladders, and chairs, and you destroy one another, we know that could be our last match at any time.
Yeah, did I hear that the first one took place 25 years ago, almost to the day? Am I off on that or no?
The first tag team ladder match is the match you're talking about, but that is the match that put us on the map. It was myself and Jeff versus Edge and Christian. That is the match that really turned us into wrestling superstars.
Yeah, and you talked about your legacy. It is kind of crazy to think that here we are now. I've been here since 1995 at this radio station. You guys have been in the wrestling business that whole time as well. Looking back on your careers, man, it's kind of flown by, hasn't it?
It does. Time flies. It seems like 5 years ago. Literally, it seems like 5 years ago that we were just both getting shots in independent shows, doing stuff with the Italian Stallion and George South on the indie scene in North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, just trying to make our way into the business and getting the opportunity to go to WWE as enhancement talents. But time flies, man. It's crazy that we have accomplished so much in our 3 decades plus.
Jeff, talk about helping out some of the younger guys. Now that you guys are in the position when you first came in to talk to some legends and some guys they've watched for years.
Yeah, it's very exciting, man. Since coming back to TNA, I'm getting to know the locker room, and I'm feeling real comfortable and everything. And the first night back, when I showed up to save Matt, I met this guy. He does this Swanton 450. It's an amazing move. It's like a Swanton bomb, but he turns it into a 1.5 front flip into a splash, and I was just blown away. It's like video game stuff, man, watching this guy perform live. And so the younger talent are just, man, they are on fire, and there's so much exciting stuff going on, and it's such a blessing for us to still be here doing this. And this weekend's Full Metal Mayhem is going to have a special little Jeff Hardy artistic type of twist on it. So it's going to be the first of its kind, man. It's going to be super exciting.
All right. Well, looking forward to seeing that. You just talked about that move. It's funny because, I've been in the music business for so long, and just when you think that you've heard everything, somebody comes around with something different. So that's got to be exciting when you see, after you've been in this business for so long.
Oh, for sure. It's crazy exciting. It's like, oh, my God, what the future is looking so incredibly intimidating for me. I'm like, oh my God, what's going to be next?
There's so many young, talented guys in TNA. They have such a great young roster. Shout out to Leon Slaters, who Jeff was talking about earlier. Yeah. Speedball Mike Bailey is absolutely incredible. Yeah. He's doing some absolutely amazing stuff. He'll be wrestling again at Bound for Glory on Saturday. One of the teams in our match is ABC, which is Ace Austin and Chris Bay. Those guys are great too, and it's very cool that they're in there. It really gives it a good vibe. It's like myself and Jeff, we're playing the role of the Hardys. These guys are kind of like in the slot of like Edge and Christian. I feel like the system, Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards, they're almost in the slot of the Dudleys. You know what I mean? So it really is. There's a lot of things that make us reminisce about the old school days of the TLC matches. And I think this match Saturday is going to be extremely special, especially because it's not just Full Metal Mayhem. As Jeff said, he's putting his personal, artistic, charismatic touch on it. This is going to be Full Metal Mayhem reimagined.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Beautiful.
You just mentioned the Dudleys. I was in Nashville a couple years ago, and I happened to run into Bubba Ray with one of his friends, and they got me tickets for Ric Flair's final match. And there was a move that they pulled, not in Ric Flair's match, but I think earlier in the day, where I can't even kind of describe it, but they lifted the one guy up and they kind of did this. I'm like, holy crap! I couldn't even believe what I was seeing. After watching for so many years, that was amazing. Though, but like you're saying, some of these younger guys, they kind of reinvent it. It's like, where do you come up? And I know you guys talk about different stuff, don't you, when you're on the road or something, like ideas? You guys talk amongst each other?
Yeah, we do. I mean, we've always done that. And I think a lot of times the wrestlers that end up becoming probably the best and most creative are guys who do talk about things while they're in the car, especially when you're doing long drives between towns or whatever else. Especially back in the day when we first started in 1998, we were doing 10 days on. And then we'd have 4 days off. And each one of those 10 days, you were wrestling in a different town. And typically it was like 300 miles between towns.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of miles you clocked in driving on the road. So there was plenty of time to come up with new ideas, come up with new moves, come up with new personalities, new personas, whatever it may be. So we've done a ton of that. And we still do it. And we still take a lot of pride in doing it.
Yeah. Ace Austin, one half of ABC, his first time in a professional wrestling ring was back in 2011. At a TNA meet and greet, he got in the ring to meet me after a show. So now we're going to be in this huge match this year at Bound for Glory. It's surreal.
It is kind of crazy to see. Sometimes when you watch NASCAR and stuff, they'll show like a young Joey Logano with Kevin Harvick or something, and then they start racing each other.
Yeah, I mean, we do that all the time now. It's crazy. I mean, kids who grew up being huge Hardy Boyz fans, oh my God, Team Extreme, you guys were my favorite. I love the tag team ladder match, the tag team tables match, the TLC stuff, and now we're wrestling against them, and they're like on the same level of us, which it's really cool. And once again, I think that speaks volumes about just our ability to be resilient and have that longevity in our career.
Now, Matt, you just mentioned creating new characters. That's the other thing when you're on the road. A lot of time to think and whatnot. You've created some outrageous and just incredible characters over the years.
I have, yes. Anytime people ask me if they're taking it too far in pro wrestling, I say, I don't know. I'm the guy who played Broken Matt Hardy. So I can get out there. I can go pretty far.
It's funny because I was thinking about this earlier. It's like, there's been some, morning show stuff here and whatnot that if you were to explain to someone, this is what we're going to do, they'd look at you like, oh, that's insane. But then don't explain it, just do it, right?
Yeah.
Do you have to explain to the powers that be about characters you've come up with or whatever, and they're like, do they look at you like, what?
I was very lucky. I was afforded a lot of creative input into what I was doing when I was in TNA during the time that I started doing Broken Matt Hardy. And I'll never forget when I went out after revealing myself as this broken, different, altered, evolved individual, which I was going to be, Broken Matt Hardy. I went out and started speaking, and then I start talking like Broken Matt Hardy, where I'm going, you must understand, this will never be over until the ashes are totally cleared up. And I'm speaking like this, and I come back and nobody, even my wife, she's like, what was that? And she was with me, in my corner. And everybody else was like, oh, that was good, I think. But it's crazy. I mean, it caught on, and then people wanted me to say words as crazy as possible. And they wanted to say it like that, It was so much fun.
But if you're going to explain to somebody, how would you?
Yeah, I mean, it would be tough to.
Just do it and then worry about it later.
Yeah, a lot of times they say that. It's better to come back and say I'm sorry as opposed to pitching out and getting shut down. Yeah,
right, exactly.
Yeah, I'll never forget Matt just said, I don't know, you can do like a big swanton to me or something. That's going to be crazy. And then I'm just going to dye a blonde streak in my hair and be different. And I had no idea what I was in for, but it was so impressive.
Going, oh my God, Matt Hardy turned British, which is mixing all kinds of accents together.
So I'll tell you what, I'll ask each of you. I'll start with you, Jeff. What's the best piece of advice that you have each given each other? What's the best piece of advice Matt ever gave you?
I'll tell you the best piece of advice Jeff ever gave me, and it is very true. When we first made it and we started making some money and we were with WWE, I was very tempted. We live about 45, 50 minutes from the airport in Raleigh. That's our major airport that we fly in and out of a lot. And I was very tempted to move close to the airport because we were traveling and we were never home. It was go, 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 go. And Jeff said, no, man, we should stay here, like, on our family land, like near our dad. Our mom died when we were young, and we can be with our dad as much as possible, and we'll be here together, and we'll get to see him and be around him as much as possible. So what? It's a 50-minute drive. Who cares? Whatever. And that is one of the best pieces of advice he ever gave me, and I'm so glad I did that.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Jeff? What has he told you before?
He's been. God, I was going to say something about. I was speaking. We do a lot of meet and greets with TNA now, and I'm really proud of Matt's patience has improved a lot. It seems because a lot of times I mean, you guys be patient, man. Because I've always been the laid back, real chill, and but Matt's probably been. He's the brilliance behind the charismatic enigma. He actually gave me that name like years ago, and he said it's just you. And I've never really, the wrestling persona and me, there's not much of a difference. I'm just this strange, artistic, creative guy. But he's helped me out a lot when it comes to just like I've always took pride in shining when I sell, and he's always just he's letting me do that to the best of my ability in our tag team matches, and we call it taking the heat in the business, and yeah, he just allows me to do that most of the time, and as far as advice, oh my God, I know I'm spacing out on this question, but he's helped me out with like naturally, being smart business wise with money and all that stuff. So we've both been very, I think we grew up with our dad. He taught us how to work hard. We grew up farming tobacco, so we realized, if we didn't have money in the bank account to pay for it, we don't need to pay for it with a credit card. So yeah, he's helped me out with a lot, and mainly just I think the selling part of professional wrestling. He always compliments me on that, and so yeah.
A couple more things here for you, and we'll let you guys talk to me and Gene over here. But it's funny because I play a lot of bands that have brothers in them, and siblings and whatnot. And I remember the Pantera guys, the Everett brothers. Dave Mustaine wanted Dimebag in his band, and he says, "Well, I'm not going to join unless you bring my brother." Are you guys kind of like that too?
Yeah, I mean, I think Jeff has a pretty good example of that, actually.
Right.
Which there was a point where he was about to leave WWE, and they said, "Hey, well, what if we put you into the Hall of Fame, and you go in and we honor you, and then we kind of let you make your schedule a little more." And he said, "No, that doesn't feel right. Like I feel like if I'm going into the Hall of Fame to begin with, it should be with my brother." Which
right.
that was very cool. I was very grateful for that, and that's when I was at AAW, somewhere different.
Yeah. So that they haven't revisited that or nothing like that.
It's one of those things. I think we both feel like that. I mean, I think we both have the status and the career accolades. We could both go in individually, but I think it's important to both of us because we started this dream together as kids. This is what we wanted to do, since we were very, very small, and we want to go into the Hall of Fame and be honored at the same time together as the Hardys, as the Hardy Boyz.
Just saying that though, it's pretty wild, isn't it?
It is. It is wild. It is wild. Especially it's that. Things have changed a lot too now. There's guys like Rey Mysterio went to the Hall of Fame, but he's still active and he's still killing it too.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a different day and a different age, and guys are taking better care of themselves, and they've learned a lot of new techniques to kind of keep themselves in shape and stuff. So it's interesting how careers have lengthened, as time has gone on, and wrestlers have become more intelligent, and they've also been more accountable and responsible about things.
And this Bound for Glory for me could go two different ways. It might be okay, it's time to end my career, or it could be no, I'm far from over. I don't want that. I'm not ready for the Hall of Fame. I need a few more years doing this. So that's the beauty of these Full Metal Mayhem matches for me. It's kind of it's so scary, but it's my comfort zone as well.
Well, you seem kind of rejuvenated.
For sure, yeah, big time rejuvenated. After being in AEW, my personal problems, I'm coming back from that, and I never really had an opportunity to shine in the other wrestling dimension we were in. So. This is my chance, man. TNA has been there for me through dark times, so man, I'm so grateful to have this opportunity.
All right, final thing here for you guys, then we'll turn things over to Gene. But we're here in Detroit. I mean, obviously, you guys have traveled, like you said, a million miles. Probably seen this country, 10 times over. What are some of your fondest Detroit memories from coming here? You guys have been coming here for, decades.
Yeah. I remember it all started the Joe Louis Arena. That is not here anymore,
No,
right?
it's gone, yeah.
It's gone, yeah. That's I remember that was the big spot. I remember coming here and I thought that was real cool because I was a fan of Joe Louis too, especially boxing back in the day. Our dad used to watch boxing, so we grew familiar with some boxers. I always dug Detroit, man. I always dug how we would come and we'd stay out by the airport, and it was a little bit of a haul to get downtown, but Detroit was a cool city. I always remember growing up somewhat of a fan of some of the Detroit sports teams and whatnot, so I thought it was really cool when I had the chance to come out here, and the company I was working for was paying for the opportunity for me to come and sightsee in Detroit while I was actually here working.
Yeah, anything, Jeff?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I just remember Joe Louis Arena a lot. It was always exciting being there, and Rhino being here. He was in a very popular TLC match back in the day. I know he did some kind of run in, but yeah, no specific moments like stand out.
Yeah, there's been a lot of, there's so many wrestling events that have taken place here since I've been here. So
I did play a play. I can't think of the name. It's a very famous place for bands to play at. I forget the name of it. If I heard it, I would know it. But last time we were in Detroit, I played that place, and it was out and I wasn't sure where we were, but and all these famous bands have been there.
Not the Machine Shop or anything.
No,
okay.
no.
That's up in Flint, yeah.
Started with an H.
Harpo's?
Yes.
You played Harpo's?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I played Harpo. Yeah, the acoustic. Me and my Carolina guitar player, we did an acoustic show after the GCW event.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it was very cool, man.
Yeah, because that's not a great part of town.
Right, it didn't seem like it.
Oh. Well, anyway, so thank you guys so much for your time. Continued success. Really an honor to meet you guys.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for having us, man. And we're really excited for this weekend. Not only do we have Bound for Glory on Saturday, but then Sunday everybody's coming back and we're doing a couple Impact tapings, which is going to be really, really cool. Going to be a big day on Sunday too.
Oh, one of the times I did save Matt. Like he said, just be you, man. That was some good advice.
That's good
just
advice.
Yeah,
there you go. Just be you. All right.
You know what? Is Detroit, I might be wrong, is Detroit where I came out and betrayed you when you were wrestling Edge? Was that in Detroit?
Oh, I don't know. It might. That seems like that might be exactly right.
That was one point where Vince decided to pull the trigger to have us go against one another, and I came out and people thought I was going to smash Edge with a chair, and I smashed my brother with a chair. That was a pretty memorable moment in our career because people were very heated at me, and a lot of young people tell me, oh my God, when I was young, I hated you. I hated you so bad after that. And then finally I understood the brilliance behind it after I got older. But
and which that led to another dream of ours being fulfilled is wrestling each other at WrestleMania, which was super cool. Just always looking back to Brett and Owen doing that. We always wanted to do that, and we were able to do it.
Wow, yeah, that would have been cool. I never even thought about that before, but yeah. Well, good luck with everything with you guys, and thanks again for stopping by.
Thank you for having us.